What is up, YouTube? Oh my gosh. We are sitting on the precipice of being swallowed up by our video games. We don't know what to do. There's just too many there. They're coming down like a wave. Gonna crash us. Anyways, I hope you guys are all doing great. Today we're going to do a video entitled, When Should You Purge Your Retro Game Collection? If you have no understanding of wanting to ever sell any of your stuff, maybe back out of the video right now. Otherwise, if you're just curious, stick around, guys. We're going to talk a little bit more about this. A little background story on me. If you've been following this channel for a while, obviously you know that I talk about retro game collection addiction, buying games, collectibles, and everything about that. When enough became enough for me personally. As always, I am not a licensed therapist. I am not a professional at any level. I just share my story, what I've done to get better, and if you see a lot of what my story says, to you, then maybe you have that issues too. Otherwise, I'm just a guy in front of a camera with a microphone talking about my life, being raw. Yeah, raw dog. Anyways, guys, so yeah, like I said, a background story of what happened with me was I over the years I bought a bunch of games, built shelves, put games up on shelves. For the most part, was happy with what I had, and then just one day, it wasn't fun anymore. I don't think it actually had been fun for a while, but I had felt so dedicated to the collection, felt so into it that I felt like I had to keep continuing on and doing it no matter what. And I think just at one point, enough was enough, and I was tired of all the games I had. They weren't getting played. Anytime anybody came down here, I was nervous with them around, especially like my cat or my youngest son. Sometimes when he was down here, I was like, okay, stay away from that game. It's a $200 game, or, and then it was just kind of like I was antsy around it. And then it just was like, this is not how to live. This was not fun. I shouldn't have to banish my son from my game room because I'm worried that he's going to damage some Final Fantasy game that's worth whatever money, or something like that. So a few things started lining up, and then it was just like, one day was just like, I gotta get rid of these games. So like I said, when should you purge your retro game collection? Now, there's obviously different kinds of purges. There's the big ones and the small ones. Like, okay, a small box of games that I don't want anymore. Or, alright, I set up a retro pie, so I'm going to sell every single game I have now that's retro because I don't want it anymore because I could just play it on here. Because that was kind of one thing that helped me, because when I first started wanting to get rid of the games, I dealt with that fear of regret. Oh my god, what if I sell this game and 2 months later I really want to play it and I don't have it anymore? Or, oh, I can't never sell that game. I used to love that game. Or I really want to play that game. I can't sell that one. And I've talked about that too, with how that works. And in all honesty, what I mentioned to people is sometimes that passes. And I've actually had a few subscribers comment before that it was like the floodgate opened. They were so scared to sell stuff, and when they finally sold some and realized, this feels pretty good. Nothing's wrong. I don't fear. I'm not regretting this. Yeah, it's okay. A lot of times that's what happens, guys. Now, obviously, I'm not telling you to go out and sell your retro game collection or to purge your collection in general. Like I said, this is all personal preference. I've got videos talking about how to progress your personal collection, cater to you, whether you have goals in mind or whatnot, whatnot. But a huge reason for purging collections too is, let's just throw this one out there. You ran out of room. I've got a guy that I talked to, that he has a studio apartment, and he told me that at one point he had to sell a bunch of his games because he ran out of room. There was no room. He couldn't fit them anymore. So then he couldn't buy the actual stuff he wanted. He had so much filler crap and he couldn't actually play the game. He couldn't buy the games that he wanted. And so right there is obviously a good reason to purge a lot of the collection. And then just in general too, I mean, the obvious one that stands out, you need money. You're struggling with bills. That car broke down, you need to fix it. You don't know how you're going to come up with the money. You know, stuff like that. Like I said in the past, I held on to a Dreamcast. I kept the box. The box is still here. I kept the box. But I held on to the system itself, and I bought that about 6, 7, 8 years ago. Something like that. I only played it when I first bought it, and it sat on the shelf as decoration. I had a friend interested in one, and I finally just said, you know what? I'll sell you mine. And I gave him a good price on it. I used that money to do something with my family. And instead of having something that's just sitting there on decorations, I made memories with my family. Now, obviously, this doesn't work for everybody. Not saying, you know, that if you don't have a family, obviously it won't work for you. I mean, that's the obvious one. But people will wonder, you know, get stressed out from that itself. Selling something just because they want to do something. But I can tell you as a father, as somebody that, you know, finally just realized a lot of this stuff is material objects, was that I had a lot more fun taking my son to a football game. We went to an Iowa Hawkeyes game, an actual, you know, like Hawkeyes game. And it was his very first professional, whatever level more. And we did that, and that was a lot more fun than just something sitting on the shelf that never got played. So I made a memory with him. He got something that hopefully will stick with him for, you know, a longer period in his life. And, you know, it worked out. So that's another reason sometimes, you know, it's obvious for obvious reasons. Retro game prices are high. And as usual, as of right now, I do not believe the bubble's really popped. Most games have stayed about the same price. And we haven't really seen any insane, you know, ups. There's some games that obviously keep going up no matter what. But a good reason right now to sell is just because the price is good. And if you need the money that bad for something that's necessary, something necessarily to have, a need, or for something that you want. Let's say you've got that old TV, a 50-inch one that you've had for the last 10 years. It's almost on the fritz. You want to upgrade to an HD one, but you're having issues saving up money. But you have all these games that you don't touch anymore. That is an option. That is an option that you can do. Sell some of those games so you can buy something else that you actually really want. That was something a while back. I wanted a 4K TV because I had a PS5 and stuff like that. And I could not justify it to my wife spending a couple $100 on a TV for that. So it was that the only other option was obviously to sell some stuff. And that's exactly what I did. I sold some video games that I didn't touch anymore or I didn't play. And I kind of got a nice little nest egg of money put away. So when I was finally able to upgrade to a 4K TV, and you know, we were both happy. I was happy to have the TV, and she was happy that I didn't have, you know, have to spend any of my money or any of the other money for it. Now, obviously, you know, it's not like she was like, no, you can't spend any money. But I was just doing it out of respect for her and our family that I'm not going to spend that extra money on something that's, like I said, not necessarily need, it's a want. So we talked about, you know, obviously running out of room, needing money. How does it make you feel? Like that's a huge thing I talk about in a different video is how to progress your game collection is how does it make you feel? I had said in a past video or a video that hasn't come out yet, you know, I got a couple of these in the works right now. Go into your game room, go around your collection, and just look at it and tell me, how, you know, even comment below how it makes you feel. Do you feel a sense of pride, of joy in looking at it? Do you just feel like, meh, it's okay, or some dread? Or are you just looking at it and just being like, feel like the walls are closed again, and then you have no connection whatsoever with it. You don't have any enjoyment in it. It's just, I don't like this. Because that's what, at one point, that's what it felt like to me. I was looking at games that I don't know why I had. Why do I have this game? It's not bringing me joy anymore. And it was at that point that I knew I had to do something. So, ending this video is talking, a little bit more about the real sense of this is sometimes it's not amazing to have all those games. Games are meant to be played. Now, obviously, everybody's got different goals in mind. Some people don't care about playing games. They just want to have it. Some people want it as using an excuse that it's an investment, that they're just doing it because they're making money off of it. They're going to use it someday to retire, or whatever happens. And that's the truth. It's all up to you guys whether or not. I just know that I think you are struggling, or if you have questions about whether or not it's time to purge, how to purge, what's the best method, or what method I used, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. I've talked to some people through Instagram that, they're like, I don't know if I really want to sell it. And I can tell you right now, if you don't know you want to sell it, then don't bother. Because there's kind of a one way where it just kind of clicks, where it's like, okay, you know what, I don't want it anymore. And then that's when it's really time to do it. So, real being real, that's really when it's time to do it. You'll know almost when it's like, okay, I've had enough. I had. That was like the same when some people sober up and stuff like that. One day, you just have enough, and you don't want to do it anymore. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have done a recent purge in the past, or if you're one of the people that are just like, I will never purge. I'm going to own these games for life. I'm going to be buried with them. Oh, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay retro, my friends. And, yeah, we'll see you in the next video, guys. God bless.